Hi, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, today I am bringing you a tutorial on this makeup look. I am doing both the eye makeup look and the complexion on camera this time. This is a really simple and elegant and glamorous makeup look, and it's really quick to do. So it's the perfect makeup look to do if you're in a rush or if you just don't want to spend that much time doing your makeup. So yeah, if you're interested on knowing how I did this, just keep on watching. I've already done every single step of my skincare routine. I'm not doing it on camera just because it's the main topic of my previous video. So if you guys are interested, I will just leave the video link down below so that you can check it afterwards. I've also done my brows off camera because, as I have told you, I believe that it was in my first video, my brows are super uneven. I don't really have a specific technique, I just try to do my best. So I would rather do it off camera because I'm not really teaching you anything. You will just see me trying to figure out the best way to get them to look slightly even. So now the only thing I have to do is to prime my skin and skip to the actual makeup. To prime my skin, I will use a MAC primer. This is the MAC Prep+Prime Natural Radiance. This helps you achieving a glowy skin look. One thing that I love to do after spreading the primer all over my face is to press it against my skin because it will help filling all of those large pores that need to be filled. Now I'll have to conceal my under eyes with the color correcting fluid. This is the same that I used in my first video. It's the Naked Skin color correcting fluid and this is the shade Peach. I will just keep it in the darker areas of my under eye. And by the way, in this video I will be doing my complexion first. I don't know if I'm the only one, but every time I do my eyes before my complexion, I feel like my eye makeup look is not that good, and sometimes I do my complexion and it's like, oh my god, I did amazing. So I would always prefer to do my complexion first and then my eye makeup look, but sometimes you have to do it the other way around because certain makeup looks really make you prefer doing your eyes first because you can mess up your whole complexion. I didn't say it, but I used the beauty blender to apply the color correcting fluid. So next I'll be using the same foundation as I did in my first video. I love this foundation because you can build the coverage, so you can go light hand with it and have like a medium coverage, and that's what I'm going for today. And it's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Foundation. To apply my foundation, I will be using the Zoeva brush 104. This is the buffer brush. I'm not really interested in building a full coverage. I'm just trying to cover any imperfections that my skin might have and to even out my skin tone. Now I'm just going in with my beauty blender and I'm going to apply a little bit more foundation just because I feel like my skin is not even yet. And if you saw my first video, you know that after applying my foundation with my foundation brush, I always go over it with my beauty blender just because I feel like the beauty blender spreads everything evenly and it makes everything look seamless, and if you have any excessive foundation on your skin surface, it will just absorb it and leave you with a natural finish. So that is it for my foundation. Now I'll be moving on to my concealer, which is the NARS Radiance Concealer. This is one of the best sellers of the brand. I will be using the color Custard. I will be applying the concealer in the areas of my face that I want to brighten and on the sides of the nose. This will help you define the nose a little bit better. A little bit on the chin and a little bit in the bottom of my forehead. Now I'll just be blending it with my beauty blender. What I'll do next is, after applying and blending all of my concealer, I will use the beauty blender with no product in it to build a base in my eyes. And if I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, I will just use a little bit more concealer. This will just make the tone even out with the rest of the face. That is it for creamy formulas. Now I'm going to move on to the powders. The first powder that I'll be using is the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I will be first setting my eyes just because it's the fastest area to crease if I don't set it. And then I will set the rest of my face. I just use a regular large blending brush. Next, I will be setting my under eye area because it's also a really fast area of my face to crease if I don't set it right away. But first, when you don't set it right away, one thing that you want to do is to go over with the beauty blender. No more product, just going over with the beauty blender and then applying the powder because you don't want to be setting creases. I also apply a little bit more powder than what you would normally apply to set makeup, just because I want it to bake. I also use baking to highlight the areas of my face that I want to highlight. That's why I bring it almost until my temples and why I bring it along the sides of my nose. Now I'm going to set my T-zone really well because this is the fastest to get oily. And then when the brush has pretty much no product, I'm just going to apply whatever is left on the brush in the rest of my face. One thing that you want to be really careful with, especially with higher neck tees or clothes that might be in your neck, is just to set foundation that you apply there really well and the one that you have applied in your jawline. It's really important so that you don't get foundation in your clothes, because it's really annoying, especially when you're wearing white blouses or t-shirts. So now we can just remove the baking. I don't want this to get super dry or anything. I'm pretty much looking like a ghost. It's time to bronze my face, and for that I will be using the Hoola from Benefit, another bestseller. And to apply it, I will be using this Morphe brush. This doesn't really have a name on it. It was from the collection of brushes that were similar to this. But there are many types of brushes to apply bronzer. You just have to use whatever you feel the most comfortable using. I'm just picking some of the products. And then you want to apply your bronzer in the areas of your face that you would already naturally have a shadow and that you want to bronze a little bit, so that you don't end up this makeup look looking like a ghost. I go really light with it. Just mind that you have to compare both sides of your face just to make sure that they look even, that you don't have a darker side. And I apply my bronzer either like this or in circular motions. Usually first I apply it like this just to get the product in my face, and then I apply in circular motions just to buff it out and to prevent myself from getting any harsh lines. I'm just going to apply a little bit in the perimeter of my forehead. It's really hot and I cannot open my window because my neighbors always make some noise. You know, they're just out there living their lives. I am also going to apply a little bit of bronzer in my jawline and a little bit on my neck just to make it look a little bit slimmer. Now we'll be moving on to my blush. This is the NARS Orgasm blush. I'll just be applying it in the apples of my cheeks and along my bronzer. So guys, I completely forgot to apply a little bit of bronzer in my nose. I'm not really going to contour, but I feel like every time I don't apply bronzer in the sides of my nose, my face is just too white, too pale in the center, and I feel like applying bronzer in the sides just gives it a little bit more balance. This is nothing too precise, this is not meant to contour, even though you want to make sure that you apply it as even as you possibly can. Next, I will be applying my highlighter. This is the Moonstone by BECCA. This is the packaging. And this is the shade. I really love this highlighter. It looks super natural, super radiant, but it's not too shocking, you know? It's not like it can be seen from the moon, even though you can build it up if you want to have that effect. I always apply my highlighter in the typical areas that you would want to apply it, and I always bring it to my apple cheeks when the brush has not really that much product, just because I feel like it gives you a youthful look and it makes your skin look like it's really healthy and just glowing from within. I also like to highlight a little bit in here, the tip of the nose. I apply it with my finger if I'm on the go, just because it's faster, and a little bit on the bridge, nothing too crazy, and on the cupid's bow. So that is it for my face. Now I'll just have to set it. I'll be using the all-nighter from Urban Decay. I think I told you this, guys, but usually I apply this product twice, just because the first one is to set it and the second one I like to say that it's for good luck. That is it for my complexion. Now we're moving on to the eyes, so I'll just bring you closer so that you can see in detail what I'm doing. Hello again. So now I will just do the eye makeup. For the eyes, I will keep it really simple as I did for my complexion. So first I'll be applying the Hoola bronzer. This will kind of be my transition shade, but actually I use this to connect the colors in my face, as I have explained to you guys before. I'll just use a blending brush. This is the Morphe M573. You can use whatever blending brush you have. One thing that I want to say is that if you want to apply bronzer, a little bit of mascara, lipstick, it's super fine. I'm just going to give you a simple eye makeup look. One thing that I really don't like to do is just to not apply any kind of shadow to your eye. It makes me feel like there's something missing in there. So next, I will be picking some eyeshadows from the Naked palettes. Some eyeshadows, or maybe just one, I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I'll be using Sauced, which is this light brown, with the same blending brush, but this time trying to be a little bit more precise. I'm applying it to my crease. I feel like that's pretty much it. I don't want to add more depth to my eyes, so I'm just going to keep those two shadows in my crease, and that's fine. I'm just going to apply that same eyeshadow in the outer part of my eye. I'm just tapping it with my blending brush. So I finally picked the shimmer. I'm using Galaxy from this palette from Huda Beauty, and I'm just applying it with my finger. Especially when you're in a rush, this is the best way, just to give your lid a little bit of shimmer. You don't really have to worry about being super precise applying this. This is not a cut crease. You just want to brighten up your eye. And by the way, I was using a brush just because my long nails keep me from reaching those tiny spots. Now I'm just going over with the same blending brush that I used to apply the shades in my crease, just to blend everything together and make sure that I don't really have any harsh lines, because this is supposed to be a smoky eye, not really a cut crease or anything. I don't know if you can tell by the camera, but this shimmer actually has like a pinkish undertone. Every single eyeshadow in this palette has this kind of undertone, even if it doesn't look like it does, trust me. So if you're into that kind of eyeshadows, this is the perfect palette for you. So yeah, that is it for my lid. Since this is supposed to be quick, I'm not going to be doing a wing liner, because I know that for most of us, it's a struggle. For me, it is sometimes, you know, when I'm not having a really good makeup day. And if I'm in a rush, I don't want to risk it. So what I usually do is smudge my lash line with the darker pencil or with the darker shade. Usually I combine both, just to make sure that it stays on longer enough. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. So the pencil that I'm going to be using is this. This is the Whiskey by Urban Decay. And again, you don't really have to be precise. You just have to apply it as close as possible to your lash line. I'm just getting a little bit closer so that you guys can see what I'm doing in detail. As you can see, I'm not being too precise. I'm actually going to smudge it all after. Now that I have finished with all of the pencil in my lash line, I'm just going to take any darker brown shade that I have. Nothing too dark, but I'll be picking Rustic from Soft Glam from Anastasia Beverly Hills. You can use whatever dark brown eyeshadow you have, and I'll just be smudging it out. Nothing too precise, you just want to smudge and set the creamy pencil. So that is it. Now I'm just going to do something in my lower lash line. I'm not really a big fan of the naked lower lash line, so I always add up a little bit of color. Even if it's just a transition shade, I feel like it creates some sort of a balance between both parts of the eye. So I will be taking, I've shown you this brush many times. It's the one that the number is kind of faded, but it's the Y16. And by the way, to smudge the pencil, I use this 234 from Zoeva. I'm just picking a little bit of Hoola bronzer with that Morphe brush, and I'm going to be applying in my lower lash line. Again, this is supposed to be super fast to do. I'm just going in with the lightest eyeshadow from the Naked Heat palette, which is Sauced, in case you don't remember, and I'm applying with the same brush in my lower lash line. So now the next step will just be to curl my lashes and to apply mascara. Always curl your lashes because it gives them shape, especially after blending eyeshadows. Your eyelashes can be a little bit flat. In one of the last times that I went to Sephora, this nice lady that worked in there gave me the sample of the Size Up mascara. This is the sample, and I have tried it because I was actually curious, not enough to buy the product, but I was curious to try it. And I was so surprised that this is actually the mascara that I'm going to be using in this video. Now I'll just be applying mascara. Again, the zigzag motions. This mascara makes my lashes crazy long. In the lower lash lines, this is not really the best spoolie to apply it because it's kind of big. I don't know if you can tell, but the pencil and the eyeshadow that we have applied close to the lash line really makes a big difference. It makes your lashes look a lot more full and it gives such a beautiful look to your eye. It's amazing. So that is it for the eye makeup look. Now we're just going to do the lips, and that is it for this makeup. For my lips, I will be using a lip pencil from MAC. This is the shade. I am sorry, but I can pronounce it. My lips are already a little bit dry because I think this is the third lipstick that I'm trying on, because the other two didn't look good in this makeup look, and one of them, the formula, wasn't really working for me, so let's just hope that this is it. So the shade that I'm picking for my lipstick is the Kinda Sexy from MAC. This is not a full matte lipstick, it's a little bit more moist, which must be perfect for my dry lips. So yeah, that is it for this makeup look. This is the end result. I hope you like it. I love this kind of look because it's really glowy, it's really soft yet elegant and really quick to do. And I personally do this kind of makeup look really frequently. So yeah, just give me your feedback down below. And if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't already. Leave this video a like, it really helps me. So yeah guys, bye, and I hope to see you in my next video.